Today is the day we're actually going to talk about a brand new released film. And I'm excited to talk about this one. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Now, I realize other films have been released direct to VOD over this last 7-8 months, however long it's been. But some of them haven't really interested me. Some of them I will catch up with eventually. But this film particularly interests me ever since I saw the trailer and heard about it, because it deals with werewolves, and any werewolf film piques my interest right away. I don't see them all, but werewolf films over the last 20 years, there has been some good ones. Dog Soldiers, Late Phases was probably the last really good one to be released. Werewolf films are a lot like bad relationships. You break up with a person and they promise to change. You go back to them in the hopes that it's going to be better, and it usually ends up being the same. Werewolf films are a lot like that. It looks interesting, might have some cool poster, or the trailer looks cool, then you watch it and it's not very good. It might be okay to absolutely terrible. And so finally we got one that's pretty damn good, and I'm excited to talk about it. And the movie is called The Wolf of Snow Hollow. This film was just released in the theaters last Friday in a limited release, and it just got released yesterday on digital VOD. I bought it on iTunes. It's available on other digital platforms, but iTunes is my one of choice when I purchase films, so I bought it and I watched it last night. This film is rated R. It's an hour and 23 minutes long. Now, this film was written and directed by a gentleman named Jim Cummings. I am not familiar with any of his work, but he did direct a film called Thunder Road and some other short films and a mini-series or something before that. This is the first film I've ever seen him act in or direct. Now, he also stars in the film as Detective John Marshall. He works for this sheriff's department in a small town in Utah. We have Ricky Lindholm in this film as well, and she plays Officer Julia on this sheriff's department. And I recognized her right away from The Last House on the Left remake. She has done other things, but that's where she stuck out to me from. And we also got the great Robert Forster in this film, in his final film role. Unfortunately, the man has passed away since he got done filming this, unfortunately. And he plays Sheriff Hadley, or he's also John's father. Now, like I said, this takes place in a small ski town in Utah, up in the mountains, and it's snowing. It's wintertime. It's around Christmas time. There's some Christmas lights. Some people throughout the film are listening to Christmas carols. And we see this young couple come to this log cabin they rented for the weekend. And they go into town to have dinner, and the boyfriend has a little bit of a verbal confrontation with some locals. And then they leave and go back to the house, and they're out in the hot tub. Then he goes in the shower, and she's outside doing something, and we hear a noise. He gets out of the shower and hears something. We don't see the attack. And he starts walking towards the front door because he heard the noise, and the screen door slapping in the wind. And he goes outside and he finds the mutilated remains of his girlfriend. And it's so brutal. I mean, they show some of it. They don't show it all. They do tell you that her private parts were removed. And it's one of the worst crime scenes the sheriff's department's ever seen. Matter of fact, Sheriff Hadley even says, I've never seen anything like this. Because it's a small town. They have not seen the violence on this level before. And John's there, and they're talking about, what's going on, who they have to contact, blah, blah, blah. The next day, we're introduced to John's ex-wife. He meets her and his 17-year-old daughter at this diner. And she's not very pleasant with John. But we come to find out with John really quick that he has emotional issues. His mother left him when he was very young. He's a recovering alcoholic. He's been sober for 3 years. I think that's what he says during the film. And he's living in the shadow of his father, who, by all rights, everybody in town thinks he's going to become the sheriff once his father retires, which his father is really close, and his father has health problems. So John's dealing with his father's health problems, living in his father's shadow, abandonment issues from his mother leaving when he was young, his ex-wife that busts his balls at every turn, and trying to be a father, and now this. And he's crumbling. You could tell. And throughout the film, his mental state gets less and less. Like, it's fragiler and fragiler. And then finally he has his bottom. And then he has his chance to, be a better person towards the end of the film. But along the way, we have murder after murder. And there's talk in the town that everybody thinks it's a werewolf. Right? And he's like, no, it's a tall, big guy that's doing this. I guarantee it. And he has several arguments throughout the film with some of these deputies, one of which he fires through the film. And as we come to our climax after the investigation, we all is revealed. I don't want to give anything away. This is spoiler free. We have our final confrontation. John has a chance of redemption in the last 10, 15 minutes of the film, and that's the end of The Wolf of Snow Hollow. I know I was very vague, but I don't want to give anything away. I'm going to recommend this film up front. It's very well shot. It's beautiful in the snow. Absolutely beautifully shot. The werewolf attack scenes are very well done. You do get glimpses of the werewolf. You do get a full shot of it, mostly at a distance. The werewolf suit looks fantastic. It's really well done. No CGI in sight, it's always appreciated. And it doesn't hold back on the blood. I mean, it doesn't show the gore. It's not a George Romero film. But they're not afraid to show the blood and the attacks. And it's a really well done film. It's not perfect, but it's probably the best werewolf film we've gotten since Late Phases. I can't think of another one. It's well done. It takes some twists and turns. There are definitely some twists throughout especially the second half of the film. The more you learn some things, and then at the end we get our final, reveal, which I don't want to give away. I'm trying to tiptoe around it. And the movie is just well done. It's pretty well acted. All these actors are doing pretty damn good stuff. It's well directed. It's well shot. And the effects come off really well. And it shows a man who's crumbling emotionally. And he has a breakdown, basically, because he resorts back to alcoholism. And then towards the end of the film, he has a shot at redemption. And I don't want to give away how it turns out, but there's some twists and turns at the end, and I was satisfied with it. It's a pretty damn satisfying werewolf film, and I'm refreshed to say that. Because after I purchased it and I started watching, I'm like, this is pretty good. I hope it continues this way. Because I've been duped before by cool trailers or artwork and thinking, oh, this should be pretty good, and then doesn't turn out that way. But I'm happy to say this is a pretty damn good, effective werewolf film. That's a little different, takes a little bit, goes in a little bit of different directions throughout the film, but I was satisfied at the end of the film. So I'm going to recommend The Wolf of Snow Hollow. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's a well-done werewolf film, and we don't get many of these, unfortunately, and they take it seriously. It's not, there's some funny moments in the film, and there's some comedy, but they don't make fun of the genre. And I was happy with it. I can't complain, really. 8 out of 10 for The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Have you seen this film yet? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this film. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Share this video. I greatly appreciate it. I will be back towards the end of the week with another review. I hope you're all doing well out there. I'll see you next time. Bye.